Hi and welcome to my channel. Today's project, we're going to be making tissue paper transfers. These work very well on white painted surfaces or projects, or like white distress projects. They work very well. So we're going to start out with 3 pieces of white tissue paper. This is nothing special. This is just, actually I got mine from the Dollar Tree, but I've gotten other places. So any white tissue paper will work. I'm going to straighten it out, fold it in half, and I'm going to mark 8.5 inches. And then I'm going to draw a line and I'm going to cut on that. I actually have used my paper trimmer for this, but I need a new blade in my paper trimmer. So I'm just doing it the old-fashioned way and marking with a ruler and cutting with scissors. This next mark I measured to 11. So we're going to cut this one at 11 and we're going to open it up. Just reminding you we have 3 sheets here. And I'm going to measure over 8.5 inches, so that will give me my 8.5 by 11 for my copy paper size. So I'll cut this batch off. I'm going to measure over again 8.5 inches. And if you're a little bit short, that's fine. You don't want the tissue paper to go beyond your copy paper. So if anything, you want it to be a little bit smaller. But I've tried getting it as close as I can to the actual paper size. So we have 6 sheets here, cut at 8.5 by 11. Now we're going to open that sheet up in the beginning that we cut at 8.5, and I'm going to mark it to 14. So we can actually use this for our legal size paper, 8.5 by 14, which I can run through my printer. I do have a laser printer. All right, this is a very important step. We need to iron the tissue paper, and if you don't have a heat press, you can use your regular household iron. You'll just want to stick something between the iron and the tissue paper. Right now I am going to use a piece of butcher paper, but like if you have parchment paper or I don't really know. I just always use this piece of butcher paper, so that's what works for me. I have my heat press set to about 350 or 360, and then I'm going to press it for about 10 seconds. Lift it up, and most of the wrinkles are out, which is perfect. It's going to make it go through the printer a lot smoother, and when we go to actually apply it to our project, it's going to be, it's not going to have those wrinkles and not going to have printed wrinkles on the paper. All right, so here's my 8.5 by 11 piece of copy paper. You have to attach your tissue paper to a piece of copy paper. You can't send tissue paper through the printer. Unfortunately, that would be way too easy. So I am using my double-sided tape runner, and I just ran it along that 8.5 inch side. I'm going to attach it to the paper, and then I'm going to run the second strip of adhesive. I'm going to actually put it on the paper and then put the tissue paper on top of that. I've used that painter's tape before, and that works okay. You just have to make sure you cut the tissue paper a little smaller than the copy paper so that you have room to place the tape. Okay, I'm going to put my tissue paper and my copy paper piece into my printer. It has to be tissue paper side down. And then it comes out and it looks like this. Perfect. All right, this design here I'm actually using for a different project. So for the purpose of showing you how I apply these, I'm using a different transfer. So this is a farmer's market transfer that I just had, that I printed out as an extra. And then I just kind of distressed this little piece of wood with some black and white spray paint. And I put a coat of Minwax water-based polyurethane matte finish onto that piece of wood, and that's what adheres that little piece, that little transfer to the wood. You could also use Mod Podge, but I have gotten in the habit lately of using the water-based sealer, and it works great. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Bye-bye.